Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yeah, that was on me. That was...
Hello, Steve Kaufmann.
Hello, Phil Svitek. This is the Survivor Series after show, and that was Sting. The other Sting.
The other Sting, yes.
The other Sting, not the Sting that we saw last night, that if you missed Survivor Series or had to watch it later, was inescapable on social media.
Absolutely. I mean, that was, you know, when McMahon came out and he said this is going to be a memorable Survivor Series. It was
Definitely.
a memorable Survivor Series.
Definitely memorable. And watching that back from knowing the spoiler, he knew too. And you could see it in his face.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I didn't know. I watched it from start to end, so I didn't have the spoilers. But yeah, absolutely. And I loved it. Loved it from start to finish.
And I enjoyed this first segment with Vince. He comes out, he calls everybody out, and then he makes it very clear, because I was very curious, by saying the authorities no longer in power, does that mean they lose their jobs? And he goes very well to clarify they will have office jobs and still receive paychecks, but they will not be in charge of the athletes or the product on television.
And the only one that can bring them their job is John Cena.
I call that the heel card.
Yeah.
John Cena has the right years down the line to just think, you know what, I don't want people to like me anymore.
I don't think that's ever going to happen.
I don't think so either, but I like that he has the card.
Okay.
I like he has the ability, or he might.
Fair enough.
And then that's the first segment. Did you see the pre-show match? The pre-show match was...
I did not watch I rarely watch the pre-show matches.
The pre-show match was Fandango with Rosa. We haven't seen Fandango in a while. Rosa's his new dancing partner. And he fought Justin Gabriel, who likes to lose. That's what he tends to do.
If and when he's around.
If and when, anytime I see Justin Gabriel, I'm like, oh, well, he's going to make that other person look really good.
Yeah.
Justin Gabriel looks great, but, I mean, Fandango, giant top rope leg drop. He's over. That's technically the first match of the night, but the first match of the pay-per-view is Gold/Stardust versus the Usos versus the Los Matadors versus Damien Mizdow and The Miz.
See, what's tough about Survivor Series is that you have to make people care about these matchups.
Yes.
You know, and you can't just be like, oh, we're going to randomly pair these people and it's important because it's important. So with the authority in that, obviously that became a huge storyline. This was important because it was a title.
Yes.
And you know what? I liked this match because ultimately it was fun.
Oh, it was
the
a great match.
Mizdow thing is just absolutely absurd.
Like, and he was so, like, everybody was so into him. Like, Mizdow more than Miz, that I like that they're now a pair, that nobody likes Miz and everybody likes Mizdow.
Absolutely.
And that then you're building up way down the line for that split, but right now they're tag team champions.
A victory for Miz and Mizdow is a victory for Miz.
Pretty much.
So I really liked that sort of commentating. They made that fun. For those of you who are lucky enough to be there, you didn't enjoy that part of it, but for me as an audience member, that's it was funny.
A couple cool things I noticed in the match. There was, I call it a 69 swing, where it's just you have them this way and then it's flip, flip, flip into a DDT. And then there were a couple everybody out of the pool spots I enjoyed, where there's just people on the outside of the ring, jump in, get them all. They all get up, somebody else jump, get them all. I like those. And then it was like a 6-man tower of power. Like they really set the tone for this whole event of just that we're just all gonna go out there. There's gonna be a bunch of us. One thing that kind of annoyed me was that there's 4 teams, but 2 people can be in the ring at one time. And at one point, one of the matadors was knocked off the apron. One of the matadors was just laid out. And he was just laid out and he was hurt. And he crawled to the other corner and tagged in another person.
Well, that's kind of the fun of it. I mean,
yeah.
the JBL was making fun of it, saying, you know, why would you tag somebody else in? And it's like, well, maybe you have to, you know, you're tired or whatever. It's get the men. So, but I like that was used as a strategy. Was it used in the most efficient way? Probably not. Yeah. You could have some fun with that.
And ultimately, the match got out of control anyway. Like, whenever you have that many people in a ring, as we learned later tonight, there's no way. There's no way to keep them all in order.
Yeah.
And that was great. Next up, we have the other Survivor Series match, the other Survivor Series style matchup. And this was the women's matchup. It was Paige, Summer Rae, Cameron, Layla. It was a 4-on-4.
This was actually a good match.
This was a great match.
I enjoyed this a lot. I didn't expect the result, you know, to go the way it did. Oh, just complete annihilation. But I enjoyed it a lot.
Really liked this match. Also, it was against Natalya, Naomi, Emma, and just Emma. That's 4 numbers. And whatchamacallit? And on the way out, I just remember, like, oh, this was, I don't even think this was on the card. They're talking about Total Divas. I'm like, this is just gonna be one long commercial for Total Divas. And then they'll get in the ring, and it's this great match where everybody shines. Everybody shines. Everybody has a great match.
Yeah, and everyone played it well, and even when they weren't wrestling, just kind of being on the apron and the way they interacted. And Paige, you know, I give her a lot of credit. She just went nuts. So I heavily enjoyed that.
Yes, I enjoy Paige. I enjoy Paige in the ring more than most divas. More than most divas, I like Emma a lot.
Emma's just crazy.
Emma, yes, she will do whatever she wants, include steal stuff from a Walmart.
Right. And I absolutely loved what I like that we opened up with Cameron and Naomi as the ones to go at it, and you know, one to eliminate the other.
That's great, because that's what I like about these bigger matches, like especially like Royal Rumble or Survivor Series, where you have a bunch of people in the ring. You let that feed into the next pay-per-view. That I kind of penciled it in. That I was like, I think they booked their next pay-per-view here. Just with stuff that happens.
Not that we're there yet, but certainly they announced Dean Ambrose versus Wyatt right then and there. As soon as the match ended, it was like, all right, and TLC, see how we brought out
wow. That's a table. All right, is that a chair? That's a ladder. All right, and I had one joke about I'm losing my mind. Natalya's husband. Don't make me Google it, guys.
Oh my God! Wow, now you're making me blank.
But he's
Tyson Kidd.
Tyson Kidd. Thank you. I was gonna say Taylor something. I was like, it's not Taylor Breeze. It's not all these. Tyson Kidd. He came out in the Beats by Dre, and I just wrote Beats by Andre, and I just thought that was really funny.
I liked how, you know, at the end he was sort of taking the credit, and you know, seeing where, for those of you who watch Total Divas, where their marriage was such in shambles, the fact that. And now at least they can kind of do something together is fun. And the fact that he's taking credit for something that Natalya did ultimately.
And I like the two of them as a team, that he accompanies her to the ring. Because that usually doesn't happen. Like whenever a diva that's also a valet like wrestles her own match, she doesn't typically get accompanied to the ring by the gentleman that she usually valets, where it's like, no, we're a team. He's managing me now.
Yeah, where's Great Khali?
Where is Great Khali?
Remember, because she used to she valet for him all the time. And
he would never. That's weird. We rarely see Great Khali. The more I think, like he's a special attraction. And now we cut to the panel, and usually I'm not a big fan of their panels, but this panel had Paul Heyman, and I think we need Paul Heyman to explain everything in life.
He's very good at it, and he's such a great character, and the way he's able to relate everything back to my client Brock Lesnar.
Always, everything. Like we could have him in the room right now and talk about the upcoming presidential election.
Yeah,
and he'd have great points and be able to explain it better than most people can. but somehow tie it back to, and my client, Brock Lesnar, who in 2016 will still be World Heavyweight Champion.
He's fantastic because he takes his time, but he's also efficient with the time. Which is almost like an oxymoron. It doesn't, an ironic statement, whatever, but it's true.
Yeah,
he's able to manage that time.
So much so that, like, there was a whole panel, and it was pretty much Booker T cutting to Paul Heyman, like, Heyman, what do you think's happening here? And Heyman's just like, this is what's happening. And I was like, I'm even more sold in this main event, Paul. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And you reminded me, Paul, that Brock Lesnar's still here. This is awesome.
That's very important, yeah. Especially it hasn't been there.
Yeah, especially for I actually liked this since SummerSlam, the idea of the world champion as a special event, and he's not on every card. That he's a special event, he'll come to the big pay-per-views. You have to earn the right to face the world champion, and it's not going to be every night. It's not going to be every card. Not going to be every month. Mm-hmm. But then Paul Heyman's still there and be like, no, Brock Lesnar's the champion.
Yeah.
And it leaves room for everybody else to just have these great angles. And now we're to my favorite match of the night, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt.
I think this was by far everyone's favorite match.
It was so much fun. And they give you the wind-up. They make it to the ring. Bell rings. Just start pummeling each other. Just from go. They're just like that. They're just two crazy dudes with an axe to grind.
And I always love, when they take it to that extra level, they kept commentating of like, now Wyatt's getting crazy. Now Ambrose has gone crazy. He's just getting crazy. I thought he was crazy. But absolutely, trying to do all of their finishers and their top moves and just nothing's working and just going completely nuts. And then when Wyatt says like, why did you have to do this?
It was so good. Like, why did you have to do this? Why did it have to be like this, Dean? Me and you could have been special, Dean. You chose your path. Grabs a chair, hands it to Dean, and then sits out like this. And my roommate happened to be in the room when I was watching this. And earlier I was explaining to him how they don't do unprotected head chair shots anymore. And if they do, it's something really special because of concussions, and they shouldn't be, because people should live longer, better lives. But like I've mentioned a few scenarios where somebody does an unprotected head chair shot and they get fined the next day very publicly, actually have to pay it. And then the way Wyatt just sat there and just did this, he got out of his seat and he's not into it at all and was just like, are they going to do an unprotected head chair shot? And then they didn't, because they don't have to. They don't have to. A chair's a chair. A chair's going to hurt, regardless of where you hit somebody.
Yep. But yeah, this, like I said, this was a preview. I mean, it was a great match, but at the same time, it was a huge build-up to TLC.
And Great Khali was released a few weeks back, Dylan91 says.
Ooh.
Who also thought I was sitting here like a boss earlier. So
that's cool.
I take Dylan91 over most sources.
Okay.
That's...
All right.
But yeah, Great Khali. There were some really great spots in the Dean Ambrose one. There was Dean Ambrose did the crab walk to Bray Wyatt. That was one of those just like reverse, like quick things.
I love Dean's hair. He always had that crazy hair, but now that he's been solo, I'm sure many of you guys have talked about this for a while, but since this is my first opportunity in months to be on a panel about wrestling, I just love that weird, and he's wearing the anarchy signs and whatever else, and he's really gone that route. Of
just the complete lunatic fringe, I'm on the outside.
Down to even how he holds the mic.
Yeah, like, down to how he does most of his moves.
Yeah.
That it's just, I'm not you, I'm not like anybody. And then he goes up against somebody like Bray, who's very similar. And Bray technically won this match. And I think he won, and I think Bray won in his goals.
I think so too. I mean, what was awesome is that regardless of the disqualification part of it, nobody cares about. They just want to absolutely demolish each other. But you're right in that sense. But here's the thing: in Dean's eyes, I don't think Wyatt won. I don't think he cares one bit that that Wyatt got his way.
Not at all.
Because at the end of the day, he's gonna destroy him.
Yes.
At TLC, or try to.
Try to, at the very least. I did also ask why are there so many chairs under that ring. There were like 50 chairs under the ring. I was just, are they having a banquet later that they need this many chairs? It was just funny. They're setting up the rematch for TLC. Then we get a little backstage segment. Triple H rallying the troops. And he flat out says, those of you who help this victory will be helped. Those of you who hinder this victory and your champions will no longer be champions. And he turns to Rusev and not Harper.
These were interesting segments.
Yeah.
You know, just obviously they had the two versions of it where they were trying to get each other pumped up.
Yes.
You know, one with John Cena and one with Triple H and Stephanie. And I don't know. These seemed a little bit corny to me, but I went along with them anyway. I felt we could have done better here with that. Obviously, the message and whatever else got across.
Yes.
But
that if you don't help me right now, I will do everything I can to not help you later.
Yeah.
And it was really meant for Seth Rollins of, if you are not a champion and we lose tonight, you will never be a champion. Was the key to that all. And now we get Adam Rose and the Bunny versus the Slater Gators. Or they're just called Later Gator.
This was first off, this started because they had that promo earlier on. And it's just such a weird promo. And then this match, and, I don't know. They needed to fill some time. I
like all the performers involved. Usually, I was running a little behind on this viewing, or usually what I like to do when I watch an Adam Rose match is pause it on the wide shot, and then come up with my own name for each of the people. And I think I saw a weird looking Indian, like a head-dressed Indian. There was popcorn. It might have been popcorn or butter, and then a hot dog. So I think the theme was loosely Thanksgiving. Somehow in his own world, that's what Thanksgiving is.
Okay.
And there's the Bunny, who Michael Cole, I don't think he mentioned it tonight, but in the past, Michael Cole has mentioned that the Bunny is a guy in a suit, which always annoys me because I want them to be on the same page. Is this a bunny or is this a guy in a suit?
Yeah.
I will accept either. I need you to pick one, but I don't think he mentioned it tonight, so I think
El Torito is a bull.
Thank you. El Torito is a bull. Hornswoggle's a leprechaun.
Absolutely.
Is the bunny the bunny? Is the bunny a bunny, or is the bunny a person that we're going to reveal later? I just need to know. Somebody let me know.
Once we find out, we'll let you know.
And then I love that the Bunny wanted to start the match, but then Adam Rose didn't let him. Back and forth, and then eventually the Bunny goes over, but not Adam Rose, and Adam Rose doesn't like that. And then the Bunny does a trust fall. Nothing like a good Bunny trust fall.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was a fun match.
I didn't. Again, for me, it was just it was filler I didn't need.
Yeah.
You know, because the rest of it was so built up. This was just kind of thrown in for me.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
They've been building it up a little, like it's like a slow burn with Adam Rose. I feel it could have happened on Raw.
Yeah.
It could have just easily been like a big blow off on Raw.
Honestly, I would have preferred to see a longer Divas match for various reasons.
Yes, for various reasons, including the fact that everyone on that Divas match just delivered.
Yeah.
Delivered a great group match. And up next, we get Roman Reigns live via satellite. So we have all three commentators stand up and talk to a screen.
I like this. I like this just because obviously it brings him into the picture.
Yes.
You know, because we're going to need him coming up. And the fact that JBL's dumb questions. What kind of a dumb question is that?
That was what I wrote. That I was like, that is just fun. Where it's just JBL asks a question and Roman Reigns is like, that's a dumb question. I threw a cinder block at this person's head. Pretty sure you know I don't like them.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move forward. Of course, I don't like them. Of course, I don't like the Authority. Of course, I don't like anything that any of this stands for. When I get back, and I will get back, I will make sure all these people pay. Like, straightforward. I'm Roman Reigns. I think the stat they mentioned that at Survivor Series, he holds the record for most eliminations in one night, or tied the record for most eliminations one night. What makes him unique is he's the only person to tie both that record and the Royal Rumble record.
Oh, he's got the Royal Rumble, right?
Did he beat Kane? I thought he tied Kane.
I think he beat him. I'll have to double check.
Someone will tell me.
They'll correct us.
He either tied or beat Kane. Mm-hmm. He may have beaten Kane. You're right.
I think he did.
Then good for him.
Because he just went all out nuts.
He went all out nuts, and
And that's what made him so. That's what made him so mad, is that that was his chance. And
yeah, that's what makes us as the viewer so mad sometimes about the Roman Reigns of it all. Like, oh, he would be in this match right now.
Yeah.
There'd be Instagram photos of him and Sting backstage, and the internet would break.
Unlike Kim Kardashian's photos.
No, well, how do you break the internet by posing on a magazine, posing on the cover of a magazine? I don't really get that. And then we have a really brief match with Nikki and AJ.
I didn't understand this one bit. They made mention to Daniel Bryan and Sheamus at SummerSlam where AJ did the kiss thing, and okay.
Yeah, like,
what does that have to? Are we bringing back Daniel Bryan? What does this mean?
That's a really long pull. That's a really long pull for this, I think. And I'm actually left with questions, which is pretty good. AJ said in a pre-interview that playtime's over and we're just gonna fight. And so right before the bell, Brie gets up on the apron, kisses AJ. AJ turns around. Not the torture rack. Nikki's version of the torture rack. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Nikki over. She's world champion, and Brie seems to be going along with it. Which either she's going along with it because she's the assistant for 2 more days, or because she thinks Nikki would be an easier champion to beat than AJ.
I think that's what it is.
I'm hoping that's what it is, because I want to keep Brie, because otherwise that would just be Brie falling in the line of them being just the same person involved in the same angles, where I prefer that they're separate. I
think it's absolutely that Brie setting up Nikki.
Yeah,
because she's got 2 more days, and then it's like, okay, I've done that now. Guess what? You're the champion now. It's you and I. And guess what? Who's the better sister?
And now, we're gonna get that.
Prove it.
I actually really like that. Also, what I really like.
Happy birthday to the Bella twins.
Yes.
Nikki kept Instagramming out like, "Hey, all I need is a Divas championship,"
and
she got it.
Bam! I wish that were my birthday. Even if it were the Divas championship, I wouldn't. A title in general, that would be wonderful.
I'll take a Divas champion.
I will. Ooh, I see what you did there. Then they teased out something I didn't know was going to happen on the WWE Network, which is Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, which I am subscribed to and listen to often, will have a live version on the WWE Network featuring Vince McMahon.
After Raw.
Yes.
That's going to be great.
So excited.
And they kept, Vince McMahon doesn't hold anything back. He's an honest man. It's going to be good.
Oh, so good. And I also hope, just because I'm assuming it's not going to be an Unleashed, because he has 2 separate podcasts. He has the explicit one, the non-explicit one. I'm assuming because it's on the WWE Network, there's going to be the non-explicit one. I'm hoping the explicit one happens just like this, not in front of people.
I mean, this will break the internet.
Yes.
And they've been teasing it for a little bit through Instagram and other things, and so this is going to be big. I saw a couple of articles about it yesterday, just as a press release from Podcast One that came out. So this is going to be exciting.
And that's huge for podcasts.
That's huge, absolutely, and that's going to be huge for Steve's podcast. I have to think. I mean, it's he's doing so well with it. If he did imagine if he did a daily podcast, or like a morning show. Like if he did something on Sirius in the morning that then wound up. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's got that kind of time. Like he doesn't. But what's great about this is it both serves WWE because people have been dying for him. Yes. But it also serves his podcast. And Reigns tied Kane's record, Dylan 91. My number 1 source. All right. Well, there you go. There you have it. I wasn't sure. Now we're getting Team Cena versus Team Authority. This is the main event. I have a page and a half on it. To start the match before the bell, immediately after the bell, Triple H keeps trying to psych out Mark Henry, who's going to go first against the Big Show. Just gets right in his face, psych him out. Be ready. You got to be ready. You got to be ready. He turns around. Big Show punches him in the face. He drops 1, 2, 3. I guess he wasn't ready. We're off to a bad start. We're off to a bad start for Team Authority. And then we have a lot of fun back and forth. They tease Harper and Rowan. Yeah, they tease Harper and Rowan, and then they kind of pull them away because we don't need that so soon. Early in the match, really nice back and forth. Team Authority
Team Authority fights back, and then the announcers start talking about it because I was curious as well. Rusev is undefeated. So for Rusev to be pinned or submit in this match, it would be included in Rusev has never been pinned or submitted. And they bring it up, and so now there's even higher stakes for one person, for an individual who's like, I've never been pinned or
because
submitted.
I remember SummerSlam, it was like everyone thought that's when he was going to lose.
Oh yes, like they had done everything they could. Like that seemed like the opportune moment, and that didn't happen then.
Yeah, because he was limping the whole time in SummerSlam, and that's when he, if nothing else, he thought that's when it was going to happen, and it didn't. So and like, can this guy be beat?
Rusev got pretty close, but no. Rollins curb stomp Rusev. Pins, 1 elimination. We're back to normal. They mentioned that Cena's 8-1 at Survivor Series, and that Dolph Ziggler is 5-1 at Survivor Series, which is just interesting data. That I guess Cena's only lost once at Survivor Series. That's kind of amazing. Because
by the way, that's just in general, even for Dolph Ziggler, that's a lot of Survivor Series.
That is a lot.
That's 6 total. If he's 5-1, that's 6 Survivor Series. That's 6 years. That's awesome.
It's 6 years, and you always, I guess you don't, like, obviously the baseball of it all, you could just cherry pick a fact, but like that's still a really cool fact.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I'll be 0-6 just to be 6 years in the WWE.
Yes.
Whatever you need me for.
Do we know people? Can I be? I'll be 0-8. I'm cool. I'm game.
The new streak.
And now
1-21.
Speaking of Rusev, a lot of back and forth. Rusev, Ziggler on the outside, sets Ziggler up on the Spanish announce table. Rusev is on the American announce table. Runs all the way. Ziggler rolls out of the way. Rusev straight through the table in one of my favorite spots of this match. Lays there. Ziggler lays there. Ziggler gets in at 9. Rusev still makes it to his feet by 9. Makes it to his feet and makes it to the apron by 9. But then he gets eliminated via countout. So his streak is still intact. He has not been pinned. He has not submitted.
That's true, but at the same time, a countout.
It's a loss.
There's still something to be said about it. Like, a countout to me is still like being submitted in the fact that you've given up. You were unable to, Yes.
So. But they'll still tonight and from ever until he does actually get pinned or submitted, will continue to tout it as he's never been pinned, he's never submitted.
That is true, but he's been counted out. In my eyes, that's a blip on the radar.
It's an asterisk. He's also on the level compared to somebody who just walked in out of NXT.
Yeah,
like The Rock came out just to say something about Rusev. Like everyone's taking Rusev very seriously. And what's next? A second assist by Rollins, because Rollins did a drive-by on Eric Rowan, and then Harper takes the pin. And this is the second assist where Rollins jumps in, not the legal man, takes somebody down, somebody else on his team gets the pin. And now we are Team Authority up 1. We have a big standoff. Big Show punches John Cena in the face. That's his big turn. Rollins pins John Cena. 1, 2, 3, Big Show leaves. So now we're down to just Ziggler, who has not stood up since that table. And we're just wait. So Ziggler has to go against Kane. Ziggler has to go against Kane. I always get Harper and Rowan confused, and I don't want to admit to it, but Rowan. Rowan is the Team Authority side. Ziggler's has to go against Kane, Rowan, Seth Rollins, and am I forgetting? It's 3-on-1. Mm-hmm. 3-on-1. And
this was, there's so many fans of Ziggler. I feel like, at least, I don't know, maybe I'm tainted because here at AfterBuzz TV, everyone, for the most part, loves Ziggler and feels that he doesn't get the credit that he deserves. And so to do that for him, it felt right. It
felt so right, and everyone was behind him. There were some thank you Rollins chants I heard briefly because people don't like Cena that much, which I am happy that Team Cena won.
But it wasn't because of Cena?
Yeah, John Cena wasn't even there to celebrate, which I am rather happy about because I'm one of those people who may not be the biggest fan of John Cena currently on television.
But it also, in a weird way, it sets up Cena versus Ziggler.
Do you think that's where they're going?
I don't know. I don't think that's where they're going, but it's also an angle of like, hey, you know what? Guess who had to win this thing for you?
Yeah, like a matter of pride. Like who is better?
Yeah.
Who is better, and especially with the title chances being so few and far between, that you get a lot more people like, no, I need to beat everyone always, because I'm not, like, the opportunities are going to be handful a year.
Yeah.
If Lesnar stays champion. So Big Show does get counted out. Ziggler, and it looks like Ziggler is either going to lose or he's going to be the sole survivor. And then he gets a zigzag on Kane. After a lot of back and forth where there were a couple near falls, it was like, then Authority will win, which seems like it might happen. But nope, zigzag on Kane. And zigzag on Kane, and now we're 2-on-1. And then Ziggler, back and forth. And now we're in, yeah. At one point, Ziggler also goes over Rowan. It's just caught up in the jumblinth of my doctor.
There's a lot of stuff that happens.
There's a lot of stuff where I'm a doc. I have handwriting like a doctor that it's like, oh, well, I can't make out any of that. Well,
that's why doctors prescribe wrong drugs.
All the time.
Because nobody can read it, not even them.
And it was a roll up with the tights. Roll up with the tights to get Rowan out. There it is. And Ziggler and Rollins have a great back and forth. And I actually think this is where we're headed. That we're going to have a Ziggler-Rollins next month. Okay. And then that's because what happens is Ziggler gets the zigzag. 1, 2, Triple H pulls the referee out of the ring. And it was very clearly going to be a 3. The match would have ended right there. But it was no. Then everybody comes out because the referee's gone. They just beat him down, beat him down, beat him down. He fights back. He gets 1, 2, no. 1, 2, and then Triple H punches the referee, specifically. And then Scott Armstrong, who is very clearly in the pocket of the Authority, he comes out. He's the referee after Dolph Ziggler gets beaten down even more. Gets curb stomped, beaten down even more. Scott Armstrong comes out. 1, 2, music distracts him. And I like that they did a great job to say this is the first time he's ever stepped into a WWE arena. This is the first time he's ever worked here. Which would explain why that music would distract a referee mid-count. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, wait, what, Sting's here? Hold up.
I gotta check this out.
I need to stop. And then Sting comes out, has a really long standoff with Triple H that is preceded by a "This is awesome" chant, which is a bit of a badge of honor on just a standoff, because that's important. Like, to get a "This is awesome" chant just from standing like next to a person, pretty incredible. They got that. They got that, and then finally Stinger Splash on Triple H puts Ziggler on top of Seth Rollins. One of the downed referees get up, come in, 1, 2, 3. Ziggler not only wins, Team Authority's not only out, Ziggler is the lone survivor, and Sting's here.
Yeah, a lot of questions for Raw.
A lot of questions for Raw, which is happening now, and there will be an after show on it at 8:05.
8:15.
8:15. Yeah, 8:15. They'll be talking about what's happening on Raw that we are not watching because we're here, and well, I guess we're just gonna go straight into predictions.
There we go. Let's do it.
And now your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
You know, this is Survivor Series is kind of usually a very important time.
Yes.
And the Authority versus Team Cena made it very important. And it's going to be interesting how they reshuffle a lot of this stuff heading into TLC. I feel like it's just a fun pay-per-view.
Yes.
Like it's just a good pay-per-view. Does it set up many things? Yes and no. Mm-hmm. But then you head into, then it's the road to WrestleMania after that.
Pretty much from the beginning of the year is you're looking towards Mania.
Yeah.
It's just like hunting for October in baseball. That's your main event. Like, that's your big deal. That's what you want.
And right now, there's so many questions. Okay, what do you do with Daniel Bryan? What do you do with John Cena? How do you, obviously Brock Lesnar right now is the guy.
Yeah.
What the hell does Sting do?
Yeah. Where does Sting fit into any of this?
What is Roman Reigns going to do? These are all questions.
And they didn't give much of an update on Roman Reigns' health, like when we can expect him back.
He said he's coming back.
No, I know he's coming, like, but we don't know when. Like, because I heard he was gonna have surgery. It was gonna take him out even longer.
He made it. He said shorter.
Did he say shorter? Okay, then we're gonna have him.
We're gonna have him soon.
We're gonna have him hopefully by Mania. I think Miz and Mizdow are gonna stay tag team champions for a long, like, pretty much through to the Rumble, and I think Rumble would be a good time for Mizdow to step out on his own and try to win the Rumble. Try to win the Rumble over Miz, and then that'll build them towards Mania. As long as the interest from the fans stays equal to or greater than it is right now, those guys have the license to print money.
Yeah, I would love to see a couple of things. Because Nikki has, sort of been with Team Authority. I would like to see kind of Brie now rise up and be like, okay, now I don't have to do this.
I like that a lot.
Because it was stipulation that it was BS stipulation.
Yeah.
I still really want to see Nikki and John Cena, like their real life relationship, somehow play into a storyline.
I would love that.
And it would be interesting because obviously with Nikki kind of being half Team Authority and John being completely not that, how that would work out on camera.
That would be amazing. Like, that would be amazing.
That would be a. I mean, at that point, you'd have to, like, it would be fun to see Cena turn heel.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting for that day.
Your whole life,
so
you've been waiting.
Most of my adult life and all of John Cena's career. Or the majority of John Cena, his first 4 years. Before I'm just like, I would like him a lot more.
So many heartbroken kids.
I would like him so more if I didn't like him.
Okay.
That's how I feel. And I'm sure one day it'll happen. He has that card. He can always bring the Authority back. That could be his ticket. To be like, you know what? I would like to be on top of the card forever. And you guys will do it.
Yeah.
If I bring you back. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But it can happen when it happens. I think, obviously, we're getting the Dean Ambrose-Bray Wyatt rematch. That's
a given.
They've pretty much sold me on that match. I'd like more. I think we're going to get to see Adam Rose versus the Bunny. Probably on the pre-show.
Here's, like, the year before this year's quote-unquote TLC, when Ryback was heavily involved.
Yes.
Right? That was an insane TLC. Every match was pretty much a TLC match. And then you had last year, which was like, you barely had one TLC, right? You had Cena versus Orton.
I think you had the TLC. Like, TLC meant like a TLC match.
And that was kind of boring. But this year, if we just every match TLC, just do it. I love
that. Every match is a TLC, including the women's match.
Just do it.
They don't have it. They don't. It doesn't have to be a crazy use tables, ladders, and chairs all the time kind of a match. It's a TLC match. Yeah. I would love that, especially with Adam Rose and the Bunny. That would be a great match.
Fair enough.
For a TLC match. I'm pretty sure Austin, although it'll probably be the clean version of the podcast, he's going to cuss. He's going to cuss. They're going to have to deal with it. He's Stone Cold Steve Austin. I feel like Cena Big Show is our next. Yeah. Because Big Show did the direct turn. That is, I think Cena Big Show, we're going to have that match. Harper Rowan, obviously. And I think we're going Ziggler Rollins.
Okay.
Ziggler Rollins for #1 contender or for the Money in the Bank briefcase. And, all right. And then I wrote Sting versus Triple H and then a question mark. Because as much as I'd love that, are we going to do?
Well, that's why everyone chanted this is awesome. So if they don't deliver on that.
I mean, you would assume that's why you bring Sting back.
Yeah.
Well, or at least beyond the video game. At least beyond the video, like you brought him into the ring, like that means he's going to perform in the ring. I would hope that's a really slow burn, like all the way to Mania, that it's just Sting, Triple H, different
end of an era.
End of an era.
Remember that.
And yeah.
All right.
That's a great. Also, Gabby is our predictions champion, but I was told Corey accidentally took the belt home.
Who's Corey?
Is that Corey?
We have a Corey?
She's on SmackDown.
Oh, Kaori.
Kaori, sorry.
Who is Corey?
Who's Corey and why is he stealing our things? Kaori, sorry, I have been pronouncing that wrong for a long time. I've only subbed on like 3 SmackDowns. She was only at one of them. I thought her name was Corey.
Fair enough.
Now there's video evidence to be getting it wrong.
Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you guys for joining us. Where can the people find you, Phil?
You can follow us here at AFTERBUZZ TV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
And you guys can follow me at Steve Kaufmann. That's Kaufmann. I will more than likely be in this very room for the Gotham podcast, or the Gotham After Show podcast, in about 2 hours.
We'll see you here.
See you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.